In this video, we will demonstrate how device lifecycle management is integrated with the DX NetOps portal, DX NetOps Spectrum OneClick, and can be changed in one system, and the changes propagate to the other systems, eliminating the need to manually change the state in both systems. To get started, we will look at how each system manages the state of a device. In the DX NetOps portal, on the Devices page, we can see the inventory of devices listed in a table. In the table, there is a lifecycle state column indicating the state for each device. In this view, the lifecycle for a device can be changed by selecting the device, then clicking the Manage Lifecycle button. This opens the Manage Device Lifecycle window, and in the Select Lifecycle State field, we can see there are three options in the drop-down menu. Active, meaning the device is actively being monitored. Retired, meaning the device is removed from the active inventory, but the historical data is still retained. And maintenance, meaning for various reasons the device should temporarily not be polled, monitored for threshold violations, send event notifications, or updated, depending on how the maintenance state is configured in the system. And then notice there isn't the option to delete the device in this window, only retire the device. The lifecycle state is to retain a device or device data in the inventory, but change how the device is monitored with the option to change the state as needed. Deleting a device completely removes the device from the inventory and is instead performed on the Monitored Devices page. Then over in OneClick, unlike the portal, there isn't a specific lifecycle state that is changed, but the states still essentially exist in OneClick. To change the maintenance state of a device, the device is selected, and in the Information tab, under the General Information section, the In Maintenance field defines the maintenance state of that device. Next, right-clicking on a device displays the options to remove or delete the device. Remove is used to remove a device from one location of OneClick, but retain the device in other places. For example, when a device is in multiple containers, remove is used to delete the device from one container, but retain the device in other containers. And delete is used to delete the device completely from the OneClick inventory. In order to manage the lifecycle of a device in one of these systems and have the lifecycle state propagate to the other system, the device must be integrated with the two systems, meaning in OneClick, the device must be added to an IP domain in the global collections. If a device is not in an IP domain in OneClick, even if the device exists in both systems already, and OneClick and the portal are integrated, the lifecycle states do not propagate. In our demo environment, under Global Collections, the default domain is the IP domain called into OneClick from the portal. And as a note, in OneClick, the IP domain is technically a container, but in most cases we will continue to refer to it as an IP domain to keep the terminology simple. Also, even though devices are typically referred to as models in OneClick, we will refer to them as devices as we move between OneClick and the portal. So if we look at the default domain, we can see that currently there are a few devices in the IP domain, but not all of the devices from the inventory. Then, look at all the devices in the inventory, and we look at the C1 router, we can see it exists in the inventory of both systems. Next, in OneClick, if we change the in-maintenance state of the device to yes, even though the device is in both systems, because the device is not in the default domain, the state does not propagate over to the portal. As we can see in the portal, the device lifecycle state is still active. With this in mind, moving back to OneClick, we will first look at how the maintenance state works. To demonstrate this, in OneClick, we will keep the C1 device in the maintenance state, and then add the device to the default domain. And now that the device is in the IP domain, the lifecycle will propagate the state of the device between the two systems. And because the device was in the maintenance state when it was moved into the IP domain, the state of the device in OneClick propagates to the DX NetOps portal, and in the portal we can see the device lifecycle state is no longer active and has changed to maintenance. But because the device is in the IP domain in OneClick, we can change the state of the device in the portal back to active, and the state will propagate back to OneClick, where we can see the device is now active in OneClick again. One thing to keep in mind during this video is that it does take time for the device data to propagate between the systems. So while it seems like the states change nearly instantly in this video, we are editing out the delay, but in reality, the changes do not propagate instantly, and the time it will take for the changes to propagate depends on how each system is set up to monitor devices. Now, let's look at what happens when a device is removed from an IP domain. In OneClick, the Remove feature is used to remove a device from a container, but the device is not deleted from the OneClick device inventory, so the device can still exist in other containers and collections. There are two scenarios for the Remove feature: removing a device that already exists in both inventories, and removing a device that only existed in OneClick and was added to the portal inventory when the device was added to the IP domain in OneClick. In the first scenario, where the device exists in both inventories, removing the device from the default domain IP domain removes the device from the IP domain container, and the same device that pre-existed in the portal remains in the portal inventory. So we'll remove the C1 device, which is back in the maintenance state, and notice, in the portal, the device is still in the inventory and remains in the maintenance state until it is changed in the portal. Now, let's look at a device that exists in the OneClick inventory but does not exist in the portal inventory. The R1 device is in OneClick inventory, but not in the portal inventory. We'll move the R1 device that is only in the OneClick inventory into the default domain. And we can see that it is now in the portal inventory as well. So back in OneClick, if we remove the device from the default domain IP domain, the device is removed from the IP domain container, but in the portal, the device remains in the inventory. Next, we will look at deleting a device and demonstrate a few different scenarios for deleting a device. Deleting a device from OneClick only, deleting a device from OneClick and retiring the device in the portal, and deleting a device from the DX NetOps portal but in OneClick, retaining the device in the inventory. We'll start with deleting a device in OneClick only. We'll select the PE1 device and delete that device. The Confirm Delete window displays, and we'll click Yes to verify that we do want to delete the device. Next, the NetOps lifecycle action window displays. This window determines how to manage the device in the DX NetOps portal. Also, it is good to note, at this point, the device has not been deleted in OneClick yet. The delete action will take place after we make a selection on this window. Clicking Don't Retire will delete the device in OneClick, but retain the device in the DX NetOps portal inventory. Clicking Retire will delete the device from OneClick, then retire the device in the portal. And clicking Cancel will stop the delete process and retain the device in both systems. We only want to delete the device from OneClick, so we'll click Don't Retire. At this point, the device is now deleted from OneClick, as we can see by looking at the demo network. And if we move over to the portal, we can see the device is still active. Next, we'll delete the PE2 device from OneClick, but this time we'll click Retire. But before we click Retire, it is important to notice the window does not have the option to delete the device in the portal, only retire the device. We'll look at this in a minute. So after clicking Retire, once again, the device is deleted from OneClick. Then when we look at the devices in the portal, we can see the device is still in the inventory, but the lifecycle state is now retired. If we wanted this device deleted from the portal, we would need to navigate to the Monitored Devices window and delete the device from this page. Next, we'll stay in the portal and demonstrate deleting an integrated device from the portal first. But before we delete the device, what is key to understand is after the device is deleted from the portal, the device is still in the IP domain in OneClick. With that in mind, we'll delete the PE3 device, and notice there isn't a prompt asking how to manage the device in the IP domain in OneClick. So this means that when a device is deleted in the portal, the lifecycle synchronization back to OneClick does not occur and the device remains in the IP domain in OneClick. Because the device is still in the IP domain, when the portal runs the next discovery session, if the device is still in the IP domain at that time, the portal will rediscover the device in the IP domain and add it back into the portal inventory. So to avoid this from happening, the device must also be removed from the IP domain container, either by using the Remove feature or actually deleting the device from the OneClick inventory. And we will use the Remove feature to remove the device from the IP domain and wrap up this video.